The revenge season for the Warriors is just around the corner, and by the looks of it, the boys from the Bay Area brought some heavy artillery to bolster their lineup in their quest for hanging another championship banner at the rafters inside Oracle Arena. Here's a quick look at potential lineups the Warriors could employ at the start of the season. Now, while this could be the projected lineup for the start of the Warriors next season, there are still some players that are vying for playing time in this 10-man rotation, like their other rookies in Moses Moody, their recent acquisition of Nemanja Bjelica, Steph's brother-in-law, Damian Lee, and of course, let's not forget about the returning Klay Thompson, who should be back around Christmas time. Now that 14 roster spots are filled up, the 15th and final spot in the Warriors roster is still up for grabs. But the big question is, who do you think deserves to be the last man in the lineup? If you're going to ask me, I'm going to put my money on Gary Payton II. If you're going to ask why, well, it's not just because he's a son of an 8-time All-Star Hall of Famer, nor because he has sweet-sounding initials, but rather the kid delivered some serious numbers to back up his game. Check this out. Last season in the G League, GP2 appeared mostly coming off the bench for the Raptors 905 and still dealt damage by averaging 10.8 points, 5.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, while only logging 21.9 minutes of play. And not only that, GP2 ran a defensive clinic throughout the season, and guess what? Just like his dad, GP2 was crowned as Defensive Player of the Year, highlighted with his 2.5 steals per game. It really does seem like the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree, eh? Anyway, we know that his dad was once one of the greatest smack talkers in the history of the NBA, as well as a bona fide hound dog on the defensive end. But I'm 100% that the elder Payton has no idea that his son will turn out to be like this.
But that's the thing, he's been in the G League. We talk about the importance of that. A steal right off that from Gary Payton II!
Damn, that was like his old man, except this version of GP looks like he's taking steroids, because that is some crazy hops he's got right there. In this age where offensive freedom is flowing more than ever, his dad spoke about his son's true value in today's game, and according to the legendary guard, most teams tend to overlook the things he brings night in and night out because of GP2's old school approach to the game. He plays so old school right now, a lot of teams don't really value his worth. He likes to play D. He likes to get everybody involved. He want to be that 10-10-10 guy. I'm just happy he stayed working out and stayed getting in. Now that Golden State is giving him an opportunity, I think Steve Kerr knows what he can get from him. Just put him in the game, get a good 12 or 13 minutes from him, hound the best player on the team, the guard, and then he can bring his other fellas in the game and close the game out. Now we know that he got the swag and some of his defensive genes that his pops used to have back in the day. Let's talk about his offensive game. It is no secret that GP2 has been in and out of the league because of his inability to shoot the leather. But this wasn't the case when he suited up for the Santa Cruz Warriors in the recently held Summer League. In the 4 games that he played in, GP2 averaged 11.7 points, 7.2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2.75 steals. If you want to go full nerd mode, which I'm going to and crunch these numbers a little bit further, GP2 shot 20 out of 32 from the field, good enough for a 62.5 field goal percentage, and he also cleaned his long-range guns by shooting 60% from the three-point line. GP2 also led the Warriors Summer League squad in total rebounds, and if you're gonna sum up his performance on a per 36-minute basis, he can easily top all players in their Summer League roster, hands down. Aside from the numbers that I just presented, I think GP2 will have a strong case to be included in the Warriors lineup because of his defense-first mentality. We know that both Steph and Jordan Poole are offensive guys, and defense comes only second to them since they're tasked to carry the scoring load for the first and second units. The last thing the Warriors would want to do is just add another scoring guard in the backcourt, especially without Klay at the start of the season, who we all know is a great two-way player that prioritizes defense. I believe this is where GP2 can make an impact and be that backup guy who can provide defensive aggressiveness on the perimeter and relentless energy in short spurts while the main guys are out. At 6'2", he can channel his elder Payton and hound premier guards like Kyrie or Westbrook because, as you have seen his defensive highlights while playing in the G League, This man can keep pace with the best of them using his speed and raw athleticism alone. And let me tell you, this guy once racked 7 steals in a G League game. In his first conversation with Steve Kerr, GP2 didn't beat around the bush and told him straight up what he can expect right off the bat. I told him, "You know why I'm here. I'm not afraid to guard anybody on the other team at all. I know he's going to throw me in when he can, then I'll do what I do." He said to be aggressive and take open shots. I think we're on the same page, and he knows what I'm here for, to guard the best person. So I think we had a nice little conversation. Though GP2 has a strong case to take the last spot, there are still a few names out there that still got some solid chance to be a part of the Warriors roster next season. Just recently, news broke out that the 10-year vet DARREN Collison came out of retirement and has been spotted doing some scrimmages with Steph and Poole at the Warriors facility. In case you may have forgotten, he last played for Indiana for the 2018-2019 season, averaging 11.2 points, 6 assists while shooting a high clip from range with 40%. Though Collison can be a welcome addition to the Dubs with his outside shooting, his playoff numbers tell otherwise as his three-point percentage dropped to 32% in the postseason. We're also still not sure if he's in tip-top shape, unlike GP2, who has been playing all year round, and I think rust will spoil his potential return to the court. Besides that, the game has changed and sped up so much since he last played, and there's a possibility that he may lose a step when he comes back from a 3-year layoff. Another name that has been lurking around free agency is Jeff Teague. He was a mid-season acquisition that was inserted in the Bucks championship roster, who averaged 6.6 points, 2.8 assists, while knocking down 38.5% of his shots from 3, which seems all good, but unlike GP2, Teague doesn't provide that defensive tenacity that the mitten provides. In addition, he isn't quite as athletic as GP2. And although he was a former All-Star, I think his prime days are already in the rearview mirror after suffering multiple injuries in the last couple of years while he was still playing in Minnesota. Though GP2 will be going against tough vets in Collison and Teague, I think GP2 has a real chance to grab that final spot because he has been around the Warriors organization for quite some time now, and unlike the 2 veterans who already passed their peaks, GP2's true potential is yet to be tapped, which can be unleashed next season, and that means there's certainly no way but up for this 28-year-old kid. Since all other positions, aside from the point guard slot, have already been pretty much filled up, all signs are now leading to GP2 to clutch the last spot because Chris Chiozza is just too small as a backup, and Michael Mulder will more than likely be kicked out of the rotation after GP2's impressive showing at the G League and Summer League. But if there's one big guy, though, that the Warriors could land as the 15th guy on the roster, then it will be Kevin Love. But the thing is, Love seems to be unwilling to do a buyout at the moment, which means moving him from the Cavs is not going to be that easy. It has been rumored, though, so who knows what'll happen here. We'll have to just wait and see what transpires with all of this, but in the meantime, have you ever heard of Juan Toscano-Anderson's story? You can catch it right here if you missed it. The man is amazing and represents what the Warriors culture is all about. Click the video, guys, watch it, enjoy it, and as always, I will see you on the other side.